The first shit, not panorama, no turbochargers, please. Uh-huh. Coffee monster. Mm-hmm. Okay. Car list. No car list. After the race. I only care about what's in front of me, what's behind me, and mostly who and how the overtake. I don't want to, you know, accident or damage or maintenance and production, funny looks and talking behind my back. Some delay or whatever. You don't say. Okay. Tell you before, during, and after. Huh? Okay. Anyway, I am going to die. I don't know about you. If you have other plans. Yeah. That's the BMW, that's the Mazda, that's the Suzuki, that's the Alfa Romeo from before, the Mustang, the Alfa Romeo again, the 86, the Mazda again, the Mazda again, the Hyundai, the Suzuki, and me on the 4C. Okay. I think I'm behind the Suzuki, but I have to let them get the overtakes. And the Suzuki gets away from me because it's a real car. Okay. So there goes the BMW, the Mazda, and I don't care, but there goes the Suzuki again, and I don't care again, but then goes the Alfa Romeo from old school. Right. So I have, the race to somehow not have an accident. Okay. There's Alfa Romeo. Don't touch it. Right. Now it's Mount Panorama on the 4C, and Mount Panorama is up and down a hill, and it's not just a hill, it's Mount Panorama. So it takes a while to learn, and even if you learn it, anything could happen in any man's game. It's any man's game, and you never know. You don't want to take any chances, let alone a chance that you might not have, or someone else is giving you, like the Alpha right now with me. Okay. So then I'm in this 4C, and it's turbocharger mid-rear, but it's a small car, and I can drive it front rear naturally aspirated for all intents and purposes, because I can avoid an accident. Okay. I don't care already. I let them have the overtakes. I know I'm gonna catch up to the pack, and then during the second lap, I should get an overtake. Okay. And mainly, mostly avoid an accident. Okay. Now I see the helicopter, and the tree lines are on my side basically, so I have the ventilation or the aspiration or the weather, temperature, the water, the heat. Okay. Even the dryness. At some point, I was thinking like, the track might not be like full of debris, but it might just be like dusty or whatever. Okay. Now I'm barreling through, or I'm speeding to catch up to the car list, or the pack from behind, or from the rear. Okay. But I've got nothing on this 4C, other than getting it to the finish, to the end of the race safely, without an accident. No contact sport. Okay. So I'm still behind the Alfa Romeo, and I'm bored, but I'm safe as houses, or safe as can be, mostly. Rear naturally aspirated, driven, turbocharger into your car. Right, so you can argue for the turbochargers. Like, I am dying to just all the turbochargers, and then just be able to handle it. Okay. But no, not really. No, not really, for a little bit. But just to see where it's at. Okay. I can only see the Alfa Romeo and the Suzuki and the yellow car that I have no idea at this point. But you haven't caught up to them. I can't see that far ahead. There's no points. Wait till you ride up to them and see what they're about. Right. So then they brake, right? To give me the ventilation, given that I can drive safely enough, or they can hear that it's an actual car driving a race and an actual driver, right? But then it's this BMW next to this Alfa Romeo. Okay. So then I don't have the safeties that I would like to have, given this BMW. Okay. Now this ends up happening So now I know there's a girl in the car, or there's a learner, somebody's a rookie. Okay. But they have all the sportsmanship, given that the Alfa Romeo is giving me the okay, as far as I know. Now, I almost made contact with the wall, but I didn't make contact with them, given that the BMW is so flimsy and the 4C is not. And size being a part of... Right. Now, I gave them the overtake on the right, because I went to the right and then I went to the left, so I have to stay on the left for them to pass me on the right, which they couldn't do, because they were driving turbochargers. Right, they couldn't brake late enough, early enough to avoid me being messed up by the wall, which I wasn't. I just had to, like, really mind the aspiration. Okay. Now, they are not okay, given that they've had that overtake from me, and so they are fake, you know, they are, they have a false sense of confidence, shall we say, in this BMW and this maneuver that they just did, with the Alfa Romeo okaying all of it. Okay. So this is in my hands now, whoever this BMW is. Okay. So they were okay every turn that they make, but not because I saw them, because I was making every turn for them. Like, they didn't make that turn for me. It's because they made contact with me. Okay. Now, when they weren't in my line of sight and they were okay after I saw them, that's how I knew they were a okay driver. Okay. Now, they pretty much asked for the overtake, because then I was just tired of just like handling them or just like managing them. Okay. So then they repeated the move, and then I was like, okay, now you know where this aspiration sits. In front of you as a turbocharger and me behind, given how I drive with the transmission. Or just the throttle. Okay. Because it cuts at the friggin' headlight, shall we say, of the car. The aerodynamics. The wind tunnel, the whole, the entirety of just the throttle not being the engine, right, or the wheels from the driving and the transmission, but breathing the track and then basically pulling or just drawing in, okay, whatever the weight and the wheelbase and the heat and the temperature and the water, the entire thing is just the aspiration to me now. So it's just wheelbase and aspiration. Now, there's no turbocharger, okay, unless you drive front rear naturally aspirated, even if it's mid rear turbocharger or front rear turbocharger, okay, given the size of the car and then what it's made of and then the aerodynamics, and then just drive like this every race. And I don't care. Don't touch me.